What does Aries need to know for the month of May? Be still. You guys got Fountain coming out. Yet other cards underneath here, but I'm not gonna, because they land perfectly like this. So there's obviously a reason. There's obviously a reason as to, you know, the cards being like this. So passivity is a big aspect of May. But I want to know why. I want to know why we have that card coming out. So we're just going to take that out. All right, put that over here. Why is the forefront of the reading the Fountain? Okay, why is that up? Why is that coming up like this? Okay, it's because of the Three of Wands. So y'all have been expecting things. Y'all been really putting some work into stuff. Like, you guys have really been, putting in the time, putting in the work. Okay, I think a lot of you guys have been, diligently going at something for some time now. So of course the natural, inclination would be to do nothing, which would be to not necessarily do absolutely nothing, but just continue to do what you know you need to do, but not necessarily do it for the intention of like making something happen. Just being yourself, handling your situation, being, doing your business. The Fountain card, I kind of feel in the deck is a little useless because there's already cards that represent this. You have the High Priestess, you have the Temperance card, and this is like Temperance, and a little bit even of the Star, because all of it kind of wraps into one big just do what you do, right? Just do what you do, right? And I don't think that this card is necessary in the deck, but it does emphasize the need to just continuously just do yourself, right? Be you. Don't necessarily worry about other things coming in. Don't worry about nothing else, because whatever work you've been putting in prior, like the whole month of April, this is them telling you you need to continue to do that work, but don't necessarily be like you don't have to worry about trying so hard. You don't have to worry about doing anything extra. Just focus on you right now. Okay, not a bad reading. So let's see, what are you guys trying to get? What are you guys trying to do? What is the goal in which you now have to be patient and passive with? What is that? Now, this could be in regards to messages, if you guys have been trying to communicate with somebody. And maybe this is now your time to just be a little more passive and wait for them to respond, wait for them to communicate with you, because maybe you've done everything that you need to do regarding that. Okay. Okay. The Truth, the Ace of Swords. What is the Ace of Swords? What truth is this? What kind of truth is this that they're trying to obtain? What is this? A new perspective, new way of thinking, new ideas. The Hermit. And the Four of Wands. Okay. So it's interesting. This combination is pretty interesting. So, alright, you've been working hard at something. Now it's time for you to be patient and be, willing and open to receiving whatever it is that you've been working so hard for. And that whatever you've been working hard for, well, it has to do with some sort of truth. It may have to do with communication, but for me, I kind of get the sense that this is about a different aspect, a different approach, a different way of thinking, or a different way of seeing something, especially in regards to a lone journey. Okay, I really hate that these cards are so doggone bright sometimes, because I don't think y'all can see the card very well. But so you have, yes, the Ace of Swords here. This is the first card here that explains to me what the heck you guys have been working so hard for. You guys are working hard for truth, like understanding what your perspective is, and perspective in regards to the need to either be alone, the need to take time out for yourself, the need to reflect, the need to become more empowered with your own personal duties and not needing anyone outside of yourself to feel that empowerment. And then the Four of Wands, which has a lot to do with stability. You know what I mean? Like stability, moving in a direction and that feels like there's progress. Because I feel like one of the things that you guys have been really working on is self-healing, self-growth, okay? And that sort of building, that sort of growth is very difficult because, it's always easy to tackle physical situations because you have a strategy for that. You have a, you can, plan stuff out, budget, whatever you need to, right? And if this is regarding another person, all you got to do is continue to communicate, you know the problem, etc. But when it comes with yourself, right, when it comes to building yourself, it always has, it goes a little deeper than just budgeting your time and everything like that, right? It's never always as simple as, dealing with somebody else. So I kind of get the sense that for a lot of you guys have been really working on building yourself, in a way that empowers you, that makes you feel stronger, that puts you in a position to where you guys can, expand things in your life. That truth has a lot to do with how you move forward, how you grow as an individual, having more confidence in yourself. Okay. I think this is why the card is, the first card here was like, hey, just be yourself, just be you. Because right now there's a lot of need to trust the universe rather than to try to force stuff or to try to make stuff happen or to constantly think about what you want to happen, right? And not worrying and not trusting yourself and the universe to be able to handle all that other extra stuff that that you already show that you kind of already done, but just need time to let that manifest, right? Now, this could be a business, this could be a relationship, this could truly just be you wanting to feel more confident in your own skin. And I kind of get the sense that this is about you stabilizing yourself and empowering yourself so that way, no matter what foundation, no matter what situation you're in, you can handle it. Okay? Now, I kind of want to know what's going on in your love life specifically. Okay, give me a card for this love life. How's this energy affecting their love life specifically? How is this energy affecting their love life specifically? Oh, wow. Okay. The five of cups. Why is it affecting their love life like the Five of Cups? Oh, the Three of Swords. Okay. Alright. That makes sense. Alright. Oh, and the Tower. Nice. So, those steps that you're taking in regards to your, empowering yourself, empowering your life, it's affecting your love life in a way that is showing you different options. It's showing you another side to the story. Okay? And the reason why I'm going there with the whole different side of the story, because it's like, I don't know, for me with the Five of Cups and the Three of Swords, that to me gives a very hangman vibe. Like when you're stuck, you're looking at a situation from one point of view and not seeing that there's another potential for something else, right? That's usually the kind of connotation that the Five of Cups can always give. But with the Three of Swords there, you know that there's a problem. You know that there's something here. You know that there's old issues surrounding love and being able to let go of the past. Now, I feel like the reason why this focus of empowering yourself is here and, moving towards the Four of Wands to be able to get yourself in the position to be able to move forward and bend, and grow from, a healthier position. It has to do with how your love life was left before. I think you may have, somebody may have disappeared or left you behind. Somebody may have broken your heart here, or maybe someone has even put you in a friend zone. Maybe they weren't interested. This could also indicate to me that there was something that, something that was irreparable. And even no matter how many times you try to go over it in your mind, maybe there's a lot of self-deprecation from this. Like, you may feel like you're partly responsible for the reason a situation went a certain way, or maybe you think someone else is responsible for a situation going a certain way. Either way, it has something to do with taking your power away from the situation. It may have snatched that power away from you, which is why you have to go back to being comfortable with being yourself and knowing that things will be just set in a way that pushes things forward, if that makes sense, right? You have to be able to trust again, and this has to do with trusting yourself in regards to love. It has to do with trusting yourself in regards to the situation. Whatever happened here happened, whether it fell through, whatever. The consequences of that has nothing to do with this relationship. And what does that mean? What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is this situation doesn't stunt your growth, doesn't keep you from moving forward. It actually enhances it. But you have to look at what problems resonate from this. Meaning, why do you still feel pain from this? What is making you feel this pain? What's keeping you from fully capturing your absolute power here? Because this pain here is obviously coming from some regret from the past, some loss from the past, something that was precious to you at one point that of course is now no longer, is still affecting you and is still keeping your power at bay, because there's regret, there's pain, there's frustration, there's resentment. There's something that keeps you from being able to control, either, not necessarily control yourself, but allow yourself to trust again. Because the Three of Swords, in my opinion, isn't just like old pains in specifics. It's also, being open to accepting what is wrong. And maybe it maybe have to do with maybe not taking responsibility for something that was lost. Or maybe it's taking too much responsibility. Either way, right? There has to be an understanding that, yeah, something went wrong here, but it's not the end of the world. Not saying that you're making it the end of the world, but more of like, you don't deserve to be, beat down like this. You don't deserve to be treated like, or treat yourself like, this situation is like, like the end of the world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't deserve to be treated like you can't recover from this. This is something that you absolutely can. And looking in other directions definitely does, not necessarily looking at other directions, but seeing what else can be done, seeing what other beautiful things can be manifested from you. And maybe even coming back to a situation that's very similar, but trying to go in a different way, going in a different direction than you had before, that can, that builds, that grows. That puts you in a position to get more confident in yourself. Have more confidence in yourself. You know what I mean? Because where you're going with it, where you're going, how it's affecting your love life, it's like you can't go into a romantic relationship with somebody because you still haven't been able to forgive your situation, forgive yourself, forgive the other person for whatever happened then. And maybe you still can't, right? But the point of this is that that grudge, that pain, that resentment, that hold that you have here, whatever reasoning that's keeping you from never forgetting this moment, because I don't think we should ever forget our lessons, but I think in the way you're not forgetting it is more of like, don't forget the pain, don't forget the process of which you had to heal yourself. Is it really worth going into the next one with? And therefore, it's not really putting yourself in a balance of, well, whatever comes, whatever doesn't come, it won't come, but I'll be all right. That's not being in a place of zen. That's being, well, the worst case scenario is me being by myself, and I think I would just better off be by myself, rather than just being open to receiving. Because I think you guys are manifesting manifesting a love life to come in, but the thing that's blocking it the most is is that sort of pain that you had from the last relationship. Whoever did whatever to you, whoever did whatever to anybody. And if there isn't anything that happened between you guys, like nobody's to blame for it, which sometimes it isn't, right? And there's just some things just fell through, and you felt like it could have been more. Well, obviously it can't be, but you can make something more from what you've learned from that experience. So why not give that opportunity a chance with the Ace of Swords? You're trying to build more confidence in yourself, but you have to recognize that the situations that feel like failures, they're not failures. They're lessons to help you improve and get to a stable place, to get to a better place. What is the overall outcome for this reading here? What is the overall outcome for the reading for Aries? Alright, the Chariot. Yes, I love it. I love it. The Chariot. Now, the Chariot talks about moving forward with succession, with having balance of the self, right? Balance of being and doing. Never doing too much, never doing too little, but always in a good balance. And it's a good temperament to have usually. It's not like temperance in the sense, not too much like temperance in the sense of moderation in all things, but more of like keeping control of the self and knowing that you control your destiny and where you're going, right? But it also allows flexibility here too. I feel like the Chariot is a very flexible card in the sense of like, you have to, yes, willpower is needed when it comes to getting towards a goal. But it's also important to give yourself that time of separation to really digest what you're doing, digest what you're going through. Going in full speed ahead, you're going to bypass a lot of the things that you may miss if you just took a step back to look at it all. Which is why it's so important to have this place of, that spark, that middle, right? Meet the middle of dark and light. Get to that area where you're just right for yourself, to where you can digest what you're doing as well as making progress. So, like I said, the fountain is not saying to stop. It's not saying to move forward. It's saying to be, which is to exist, to continue to go after your goals, but do it in a way that doesn't necessarily disempower you, but do it in a way that um, that accommodates for every need that you have. Because everybody needs a break, as well as everybody needs time to, everybody needs to go for it. You know, recognize when you need to to step back. Recognize the times when you do need to start moving forward, and give yourself that patience and understanding that you're going to have that. You're going to need that buffer of, okay, all right, this is when I need to go, and I didn't realize it before, or this is when I need to stop, I didn't recognize it before. Give yourself that time and patience. And I know it's kind of a weird thing to attribute to Chariot, but I feel like if this person didn't have compassion for the horses that he's riding on, he wouldn't go anywhere either, right? I know it's a balance between your head and your heart, but I feel like it's also understanding the beautiful balance of the middle ground and having them married together. It's that third. It's that mind that connects the mind, the spirit and the body. That's what you need to be. You need to be the middle ground. You need to be the middleman. You need to be the liaison for your mind and your spirit. Because them doing their own thing could go crazy, right? You will never feel like you have a balance. You have to be that liaison for yourself. You have to be that mind. You have to figure out what works for you and what doesn't. You have to honestly give yourself a break when you've overextended. You have to give yourself, that pep talk, that push when you know you've been slacking. But you don't need to be criticizing yourself in a way that's been disempowering you. You don't need to, be criticizing yourself for slacking. You don't need to, beat yourself up for taking a break. You have to provide that steady house and home, the safety net for yourself in order for things to be able to move forward in the way they need to. And that is where the trust comes from. Trusting yourself will then trust the universe. You can never trust the universe before you trust yourself, because then that's a contradiction. How do you trust that, but you can never trust yourself? You can't do that. You have to have you first be on the right path before things could, snap into place. And this is exactly what it's saying. And I feel like you guys are already doing that. I feel like you guys are with the Hermit. It's not I'm beating myself up. You're taking the time out to really heal and look at what wounds you have, so where you can finally be able to take your power back and move in a direction that makes you feel like you're, at least improving in some area. But it starts by just actually not doing too much. By just being yourself, and analyzing yourself, noticing your needs, addressing those needs, and keeping that balanced. Alright, Aries, this has been your reading. I'm going to actually pull you guys an oracle card here. Since you're the first readers, first cards, I am going to pull... Actually, you guys are going to be the last, aren't you? Because... yeah, it's Taurus season. It's been Taurus season for a little bit, so I know I'm doing you first. It's mostly because you're gonna get this probably at the end, because of how I'm gonna arrange the videos. But secretly, you guys are gonna be the first ones who decide the oracle cards. Sorry, Taurus, love you, but yeah. Let's see what we've got here. Nourish the soul. That is a big card to get, okay? And amen to that, because that's literally what we were just talking about, right? Nourishing the soul. Need and necessities underneath here as well, so that's like hilarious. Only in the sense that pretty much what I'm saying is that give yourself the, the time and the space to understand and learn yourself, so that way you can manifest in the power that you can. Don't overexert yourself. Don't be overly critical like you haven't been. Like, I feel like you guys have been really giving yourself that break that you need, but also understanding that force doesn't make things happen, nor just beating yourself up for not being able to get what you want out of a situation.